The garage smelled like motor oil and disappointment. I sat on an overturned paint bucket, balancing a paper plate of cold turkey and congealed gravy on my knee, listening to laughter drift from the dining room. Through the thin wall, I could hear my stepmother Diane regaling her guests with stories about her recent cruise to Italy. "Pass the stuffing, Brandon," her voice carried clearly. "Your father would be so proud to see you at the head of the table." My father, who'd been dead exactly 3 months, whose chair my stepbrother now occupied like he'd won it in battle. My phone buzzed. Text from Marcus Chin. "My lawyer, Sophia, call me ASAP, documents ready." I set down the plate of leftovers. If you could call the dried edges and cold centers leftovers when everyone else was still eating the main meal, and stepped outside to call him. "Happy Thanksgiving," Marcus said, and I could hear the smile in his voice. "I have news that'll make yours much happier. Please tell me." The deed cleared. "The house is officially yours, as is everything else your father left you." Diane's contest was thrown out. The judge called it frivolous and without merit. I leaned against the garage door, my legs suddenly shaky. "It's done? It's really done? Signed, sealed, and delivered. The house at 47 Maple Grove is legally yours, along with his investment portfolio, the cabin in Tahoe, and the rental properties. Congratulations. You're now the sole owner of everything." "What about Diane's claim that the will was forged?" "Dismissed. Your father's lawyer had video of the will signing, remember? Pretty hard to claim forgery when there's HD footage of him stating his intentions clearly." Through the garage window, I watched Diane pour wine from what I recognized as my mother's crystal decanter, one of the few things that had survived Diane's purge of mom's belongings after she moved in. "Marcus," I said quietly, "how fast can you get eviction papers drawn up?" "Already done. 30-day notice to vacate." "Very generous, considering she has no legal right to be there." "Want me to send them over?" "Bring them, but not yet. Let them finish dinner first." "You sure? That's very patient of you." I looked at my cold plate abandoned on the paint bucket. "I've been patient for 7 years. I can manage another hour." After we hung up, I didn't go back to the garage. Instead, I walked around to the side of the house, my house, and peered through the dining room window. The table was set with my grandmother's china. The one Diane had claimed was too old-fashioned when I'd asked to use it for my college graduation dinner. 14 people sat around the table, none of them related to me by blood. There was Brandon, my stepbrother, carving turkey like he was born to it, his wife Cheryl beside him, wearing the pearl necklace I'd seen in my mother's jewelry box just last week, Diane's sister Patricia, her husband, their 3 kids, Diane's parents, even her hairdresser and personal trainer had made the cut. But not me, not my father's only biological child. "Ungrateful kids eat in the garage," Diane had announced when I'd arrived an hour ago, holding the store-bought pie I'd managed to afford. "You chose to be difficult about the will, so you can eat like the backstabbing little witch you are." I'd tried to explain that contesting her contest wasn't being difficult, it was protecting what my father had explicitly left me, but she'd slammed the door in my face, leaving me with a plate of scraps and instructions to be grateful I'm feeding you at all. Now I watched them toast with my father's wine collection, the one he'd been saving for special occasions. Apparently, his death was special enough. My phone rang. "Amy, my best friend since middle school. How's the garage?" she asked without preamble. "Still cold and depressing?" "Actually, I'm outside, enjoying the show through the window." "That's creepy, sophomore. So is making your stepdaughter eat in the garage on Thanksgiving." "Besides, I just got the best news. The will? Everything. The house, the investments, all of it." Diane's contest failed. Amy hooped so loud I had to pull the phone away from my ear. "Finally, when are you kicking her out?" "Soon. Marcus is bringing the papers." "Want backup?" "I can be there in 20 with my brothers. You know they've been dying to see Diane get what's coming to her." "No, I want to do this myself, but maybe come by later? We can order Chinese and eat it in the dining room, at the big table, with the good china?" "With all the good china." I hung up and walked back to the garage, but not to eat. Instead, I started examining the boxes stacked along the walls. Diane had been steadily moving things out here over the years. Decluttering, she called it. I called it erasing my mother. Box after box of family photos, my parents' wedding album, my baby pictures, mom's art collection, dad's first edition books, all the things that made this house a home before Diane arrived with her modern aesthetic and determination to renovate away every trace of our life before her. In one box, I found the Thanksgiving decorations Mom and I used to put up every year, hand-painted turkey place cards with our names in her careful script, the ceramic pilgrim figurines I'd made in 3rd grade, the thankful tree where we'd hang paper leaves with our gratitudes written on them, I pulled out one faded leaf. My father's handwriting still clear, thankful for my daughter Sophia, who makes every day brighter. The tears came then. 7 years of them. 7 years of Diane slowly pushing me out. 7 years of Brandon taking my place at the table. 7 years of being told I was ungrateful, difficult, dramatic for wanting to remain part of my own family. But Dad had seen it. He'd known what would happen when he was gone. Make sure Sophia gets the house, he'd told his lawyer on that video. Everything goes to Sophia. Diane has her own money, she doesn't need mine. But Sophia needs to know she'll always have a home. A car pulled into the driveway. Marcus stepped out, briefcase in hand, looking like corporate efficiency even on Thanksgiving. Ready? He asked when I met him at the front door. 7 years ready. How do you want to play this? I thought about it. Part of me wanted to storm in, throw the papers on the table, and watch Diane's face crumble in front of her guests, but that felt too much like something she would do. Let's be civilized, I decided. Ring the doorbell. We'll do this properly. Marcus rang. Once, twice, 3 times before Brandon finally answered, wine glass in hand. Sophia? What are you? Who's this? Brandon, this is Mr. Chen, my attorney. We need to speak with Diane. She's eating dinner. You can't just. Actually, I can. I stepped past him into my house, my entrance hall, my floors that Mom had picked out. Diane, we need to talk. The dining room went silent as Marcus and I entered. 14 faces turned our way, forks suspended midair. What is the meaning of this? Diane stood, her face already flushing red. You were told to stay in the garage. I was, but then I remembered, I don't actually have to follow your rules anymore. I nodded to Marcus, who opened his briefcase. Mrs. Patterson, he began formally, I'm here to inform you that the Superior Court has upheld Mr. David Lynn's last will and testament. All assets, including this property, have been legally transferred to Ms. Sophia Lynn. That's impossible, Diane sputtered. My lawyer said, your lawyer was wrong. The will was valid, properly executed, and witnessed. Your claim of undue influence was dismissed, as was your claim of mental incompetence, as was your claim of forgery. But I'm his wife. I corrected quietly. You were his wife, and California is a community property state. But this house was purchased before your marriage with inheritance from his parents. It was never community property. Marcus pulled out a manila envelope. This is your 30-day notice to vacate. You have until December 25th to remove yourself and your belongings from the premises. Christmas? Patricia gasped. You're evicting her at Christmas? She made me eat Thanksgiving in the garage. I replied evenly. Christmas seems generous. Diane sank into her chair, my mother's chair. Actually, this is ridiculous. David would never what? I pulled out my phone, scrolled to the video Marcus had shared with me. Would never leave everything to his daughter? Would never want to make sure I was taken care of? Let's see what Dad actually said. I hit play. My father's face filled the screen, thin from the cancer but his eyes still sharp. I, David Lynn, being of sound mind and body, do hereby leave all my earthly possessions to my daughter, Sophia Lynn. The house on Maple Grove, where she grew up, where her mother and I raised her, belongs to her. I know Diane will contest this. I know she'll try to take it from her. But I need Sophia to know, that house is hers. It will always be hers. No one can take her home away from her. His voice cracked on the last line. Several of Diane's guests looked uncomfortable. The video continued. To my wife Diane, I leave my blessing to use her own considerable assets as she sees fit. She came into this marriage with wealth. She'll leave it with the same, but what I built, what I inherited, what matters to me, that goes to my daughter, my only child, my everything. I stopped the video. The dining room was silent except for the grandfather clock ticking in the hallway. You can't do this, Brandon said finally. Mom's lived here for 7 years. This is our home. No, I said firmly, this is my home. You have a condo in San Francisco. Diane has the house in Marin she kept from her first divorce. You have places to go. This is the only home I've ever known. You're being vindictive, Diane hissed, just like your mother, petty and vindictive. My mother was a saint who welcomed you into her home when Dad got sick. She died thinking you'd take care of us both. Instead, you cremated her against her wishes, scattered her ashes without telling me where, and redecorated her house before the funeral flowers had wilted. Gasps from the guests. Apparently, Diane had told a different version of that story. Get out. Diane stood, shaking. Get out of my house. Your house? I laughed. Actually laughed. Diane, this stopped being your house the moment Dad's heart stopped beating. You just didn't know it yet. Marcus stepped forward. Mrs. Patterson, I suggest you review these documents carefully. The eviction is legal and will be enforced. Any damage to the property or removal of items not explicitly yours will result in criminal charges. Criminal, how dare you? How dare I? I looked around the table, at all these people eating in my home while I'd been banished to the garage. How dare I claim what's legally mine? How dare I honor my father's wishes? How dare I want to eat Thanksgiving dinner in my own dining room? I picked up the plate at my father's place, Brandon's place now, and scraped the remains into the trash can Diane kept discreetly in the corner. You know what? Keep eating, enjoy the meal, drink the wine, use the good china, because it's the last Thanksgiving you'll ever have in this house. Sophia, please, Cheryl spoke up, fingering Mom's pearls nervously. Can't we discuss this like family? Family? I turned to her. Was I family when you went through my mother's jewelry box? Was I family when Brandon sold Dad's car without asking me? Was I family when Diane changed the locks while I was at college? Was I family an hour ago when I was eating cold turkey on a paint bucket? No one answered. Here's what's going to happen, I continued. You're going to finish your dinner, then you're going to leave. All of you. Diane, you can come back tomorrow to start packing. Brandon, that office you've taken over? I need it cleared by Monday. Cheryl, the pearls stay. They were my mother's. You can't just. Cheryl's hand went to her throat. I can. I have the receipts. Dad kept excellent records. Marcus pulled out another document. We've also compiled a list of items that belong to the estate. Any removal of these items will be considered theft. The list was comprehensive. 3 pages of furniture, art, jewelry, electronics, all the things Diane had been slowly claiming as her own. This is insane, Patricia said. Diane, call your lawyer. I did, Diane whispered. He dropped me yesterday, said the case was unwinnable. Smart man, Marcus observed. I walked to the window, looking out at the backyard where Mom had planted roses, where Dad had pushed me on the swing set, where we'd had barbecues before everything changed. I'm going upstairs to my room, I announced. You have 1 hour to finish and leave. Marcus will wait outside to ensure everyone exits. Tomorrow, the locks will be changed. Where am I supposed to go? Diane's voice had gone shrill. The garage is free, I suggested. I hear ungrateful wives sleep there. Or maybe Patricia will take you in. After all, family helps family, right? I left them sitting there, their feast turned to ash in their mouths, and climbed the stairs to my childhood bedroom. Diane had turned it into a guest room, but I could still see the faint outline where my poster had hung, still feel the memories soaked into the walls. I sat on the bed and called Amy. Bring the Chinese. And champagne, good champagne. They gone? Almost. Diane just found out she's homeless for Christmas. Karma's a bitch. No, I corrected, looking around my room, my house, my inheritance. Karma's a 25-year-old woman who just inherited everything her stepmother thought was hers. Through the window, I watched Diane's guests scurry to their cars, doggy bags forgotten, holiday cheer extinguished. Diane herself stood in the driveway, cell phone pressed to her ear, probably calling every lawyer in the Bay Area. Brandon loaded boxes into his Tesla, boxes that I was pretty sure contained things from the do not remove list. I texted Marcus, Brandon's trunk, check it. A moment later, I watched Marcus approach Brandon, who reluctantly opened the trunk. Even from my window, I could see him pulling out silver candlesticks, photo albums, and what looked like Dad's watch collection. The great Thanksgiving feast was over, the pretend family scattered to the wind, and for the first time in 7 years, I was home, really, truly home. My phone buzzed, a text from a number I didn't recognize. Sophia, this is Patricia. What Diane did was wrong. We didn't know about the garage. I'm sorry. I didn't respond. Sorry was just a word. It didn't give me back 7 years of being treated like an intruder in my own home. By the time Amy arrived with bags of Chinese food and bottles of champagne, the house was empty except for the lingering smell of turkey and betrayal. To your dad, Amy said, raising a glass in the dining room where, just hours ago, I hadn't been welcome. He knew exactly what he was doing. To Dad, I agreed, then added, and to eating Thanksgiving dinner wherever the hell I want. We clinked glasses, the crystal singing a clear, bright note that seemed to chase away the shadows. Outside, the November night was cold and dark, but inside my house, everything was finally warm and light and right. Diane could eat in the garage for all I cared. Or better yet, she could find her own table. This one was mine.